Hi guys, welcome back. I'm top music attorney Miss Krystle, and I'm here to teach you how to get to six figures and beyond. So, for those of you pursuing music careers, trying to build your music businesses, trying to get to six figures and beyond, and to do all the things, this is literally what I do every day. And I had the inspiration this morning that I really want to work with five dedicated, very dedicated music business entrepreneurs over the next probably 8 weeks. So I'm gonna be leaving a link so people can submit applications to be on this. I'm gonna limit it, like I said, to just five because I've done this before and it just takes a lot of time as far as meeting with you one on one, doing all the things. So I'll give you more information about it, but definitely check the description once the show posts because I will leave something for you so you can check it out and apply. As you guys are falling in the chat, welcome, welcome. What's going on? What's good? Where are you checking in from? And what time is it? We're live streaming right now in all the places, so make sure you come over to YouTube, Top Music Attorney, because I told you to, and you're very, very good and obedient, right? So I released a music video and I transformed into Cinderella. I have never been blessed with so much princess-ism, and I am officially, what is it? Krystle-rella? Krystle-rella. That's right. So if you haven't seen the music video, we're going to play it here in just a little bit because why not? And this is a dark pop interpretation of A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes, which is, of course, from the movie, the original Cinderella. Yes. What time is it? Where are you checking in from? Eric is in El Paso, Texas, 6 p.m. Hey, what's up, Andy? Checking in, 8:05 p.m. We're melting here. Oh, I'm all hiding the promo. Look at that. A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes. That Orko just killing it with the graphic design. Anyway, so yes, we're melting here in Phoenix a little bit. It's a little hot. Christopher's seen the video. Thank you very much. So I'm posting some stuff and I'm doing some bits, which I thought I would show you guys as well. So we'll come back and I'll show you some of the stuff that I've been doing. Just as far as, we got to market ourselves and our music and come up with creative ways to entertain our audiences. So one quick story and then we'll get into all the things. I had continuing legal education classes today, and that means, you sit in a giant conference room with a ton of attorneys and you learn some stuff. And I was talking to my best friend who I met in law school, and we were discussing, and I'm like, a lot of us go to a lot of effort to dress up and look very lawyerly when we come to these things. And I go, I don't know why. I don't know who we're trying to impress because it's not like we're going to hire each other in most cases, right? So if that's the point here, why are we not in fact doing something that is just outrageous and different? And I went down this whole thought process, and I think we came up with we need to have shirts and quotes and a whole thing. So I don't know. We'll see if that goes into play, but that's just where I'm at in life and with continuing legal education classes. Eric says it's super hot in Texas, but I feel bad for y'all in Arizona. Yeah. But I went live yesterday and I had a lot of people from Florida just telling me that they're just melting and the humidity is just killing them slowly. So I don't know. I don't know who has it worse, but we're all just going to get through it. So with that being said, Mr. Producer, I kind of want to just go in. I want to run the music video. So this is Dream is Your Wish Your Heart Makes, which just came out yesterday. And you guys have been super nice. And anyway, without further ado, if you're ready, Mr. Producer, run it and we'll be in the chat back afterwards.
A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. In dreams you will lose your heartaches. Whatever you wish for, you keep. Have faith in your dreams, and someday your rainbow will come smiling through. No
Hey, we did it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. That's the new video. I have to be honest, I was kind of dying from toxicity from that dress that I was wearing. It came in the mail 10 minutes before we left for the shoot, and I had a different backup dress that just wasn't quite as magical. And that one came in the mail. It was crumpled to death, and it smelled like fumes and toxins and all of the things. But anyway, it was perfect. So we steamed the shit out of it. Excuse my potty mouth. We steamed it a lot, and it came out okay. So it was fun to wear the dress. It was fun to throw some stuff around and just kind of get into it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Now, I wanted to show you on Top Music Attorney, where we're actually live on Instagram. I used the little break to go live. And for those of you watching, hi, come over to Top Music Attorney on YouTube. But in any case, let me show you what I did. So I have Top Music Attorney, where is all the stuff that I teach you, right? It's like hard learning, and I do stuff just lawyer related, but my other stuff is through Miss Krystle. So I thought for just learning and teaching purposes, for those of you who are promoting your businesses, your music, just to show you some of the stuff that I have been doing, because again, when you have a new video or a new song release, you have to promote it, obviously. Before the song comes out, do a pre-save link, right? And then the day it comes out, promote, do a ton of posting, as much as you can, basically. And then when, it's out, you have to promote it for as many weeks, basically, as you can manage. At least 4. Okay, so now the video came out yesterday, the song came out last Friday, and so we're still obviously in heavy promotion time. So I was like, let me just show you guys kind of what I'm up to. All right, so I'm gonna try to share the audio so you can see some of this stuff. All right, so this is one of my profiles. It's Miss Krystle Live for all of my music platforms. Oops. All right, let's go here. Make it bigger so you can see. There we go. Okay. So anyway, let's see. We teased initially, and I think this one was just, I revealed the cover art. So just very simple and nothing special. Just a little kind of transition thing, revealed the cover art. So leading up to it, I had done a few posts just kind of being like what's coming. So I teased a portion of the song. So it's just, simple stuff, hearing a section from the song, seeing some simple kind of, singing along stuff. Here's another one. Okay. And then once the song had come out, you can do the stereotypical, just the cover art. This is not ideal, but I'm going to be totally honest. I kind of didn't have any other option because I was sailing. And so I, basically just had this and put it together late at night because I just was not prepared. So this is not ideal. You don't want to use your cover art and make a reel out of it, but you do want to do something. So this ended up performing pretty good. And I think it's just because, it still fills the whole image, the whole frame, and I don't know. So that one did okay. And then as we started leading up to it, then I started getting into the live streams. Okay, the live streams are really helpful because it's going to trigger the algorithm to push you out again to your audience. So you get the audience that watches it live, and then of course you get the audience that watches it on replay once you've posted it to your page. And that just continues to build. If you ever go back and look at your views, it will just continue to get some love. And then I did a little recap, my sailing trip, and of course the song is playing in the background, so just another little casual touch reminding people about it. And then this is all new type of content, and so this is more like narration. So I basically did some bits where I'm wearing this dress, and I'm kind of just being sassy. And so you can go back and watch it, and I'll actually play one in a second here. But it was pretty simple because you just kind of record the vocal portion, and then you just do some acting, essentially. So here, I'll play this one. Hopefully you guys can hear this one. All right. Found my Prince Charming. Or so I thought. Turns out, he's more interested in my shoe size than my personality. Guess it's true what they say. Love at first foot fetish. Alright, and then we go into the song. Just, trying to be as not here, there we go. Just to try and not be spammy with it, right? So I ended up doing, not too much. I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. So if it flops, it's not overkill it. So I did 2 of these with the dress, and then I did 2 with the white nightie. So the white nightie one went up today. And this again is just kind of being sassy and, Cinderella, she's all cleaning and she's just like, I'm a princess. I have a voice. I should get a record deal. So, I was just being a little bit playful, staying on theme with the whole Cinderella topic, and then, of course, going into the song and just, again, teasing it. So these are just some of the different strategies that I'm utilizing. And, for example, on my board in my office, I have a giant list of all the content ideas. And so, basically I've done like 2 as of, now. So for those of you who are trying to promote your own music and your own stuff, this is one way to do it. So you kind of go, I'm going to try just like transition videos. I'm going to do 4 of them or 5 of them this week, and there'll be different types, but that's all I'm going to try. Because I think if you're like, oh my gosh, every single piece of content needs to be so different and, it needs to be fresh and all this stuff, you can overwhelm yourself. So you end up like not posting anything because it's too overwhelming. So in any case, that's why I'm sharing some of this. So I hope you guys found this helpful. Let me go back to the chat. Sorry, I'm on to showing you this. Someone on LinkedIn said this is a ton of work for those of you who are not videographers, directors, editors, sound effect artists. It's expensive video in real time. Yeah. It can be, right? And so that brings up the whole question of, is it even worth the time to do a music video, right? Or the expense? And I would argue, if I was talking to most artists, don't waste your money on a music video until you have market proof that the song is worth investing into, right? So on, the low end, most videographers who are worth 2 cents are going to charge no less than like $1,500. And that's everything. It's because it's a ton of time. Even if you have just a skeleton crew, a couple of people, there's editing after the shoot, there's special effects, there's set design. So, to get a project at $1,500 is very, very low and inexpensive, and people are doing you favors, okay? But as the artist, you're like, oh my gosh, $1,500, and you're probably not going to make $1,500 on the video back, right? So in any case, understanding that that's the investment for most music videos, it doesn't make sense to do music videos, right? Because most of us are going to post a clip from the music video to promote the song. So it's like, why wouldn't you then just make all of your content on your phone and then just use that to promote? Okay. Now, in this case, I did do a video. I have, great relationships with filmmakers, and, we do exchanges and things like that. So it helps to keep costs down, but that's kind of my thought process. I will not do a video unless it's a song that does well initially. And so that kind of, part of my thought processes. All right. So with that all being said, thank you guys very much for, those of you who have gone and watched the video. If you haven't yet, you can, and please leave a comment if you want to just do me a solid. That is so helpful when you leave comments on the video, because it tells the YouTube algorithm and gods that, I don't know, it's worth watching, and so they'll push it out. So check it out and be sure to leave a comment. There we go. Thank you very much. Hey, what's up, Travis? All right, and those of you who are watching on Instagram right now, hello. Make sure to come over to YouTube. Top Music Attorney, so we can all hang out. Okie dokie. Let me go back to what we got. I'm going to give you the rundown because you need to know some things that you can protect yourself with, okay? So one thing comes up with, like, how do you maximize an entertainment attorney or a music attorney to your advantage? All right, so I want to talk about that specifically because at some point you need to hire an attorney. That's just how it goes. But you can tactfully work so that you have these service providers who end up making you money, getting you a better deal, doing all the things. So I'm going to talk about that. I want to go over the 8 compelling reasons of why independent artists need to partner with entertainment attorneys. Now, as someone who's been in the music business since I was 4 years old, I have been through all the things as an independent artist and then a record label, and basically having to navigate everything by myself, figure it out, and then eventually, guess what? I had to hire an attorney. And I did so because of the reasons we're going to talk about in this video. If you find this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. So reason number 8 that we're going to start with of, basically why we're going to hire an attorney. We're talking about strategic career advice. So this is very important to who you hire, of course. All right. Not anyone is a great fit. If it's someone who's been doing this for like a million years and they're not doing it really anymore, and they just had some great names that they signed 30 years ago or worked with 30 years ago, maybe they're not the best fit just because they're an entertainment attorney. You want someone who's actually doing this right now. If they are, then they can give you some meaningful advice to help to navigate your career, because sometimes making crappy decisions results in you getting off track. You waste money, you waste time, you sign a crappy deal, and then you're tied up in some deal for 5 years, 10 years, and your music career suffers extremely. So it's basically having a glorified mentor who is a professional who can help you. Number 7, we're going to talk about partnerships and collaborations. Having an entertainment attorney by your side for purposes of, again, kind of guiding you, but to oversee the partnerships and collaborations that you do, right? We're going to go back to contracts. You need to make sure that you paper every deal, but that you do it strategically so that you are in the best position to benefit from that collaboration and be able to exit if things go sideways. Okay, things go badly sometimes. And so if you have someone who understands the business landscape and can give you suggestions, especially when it comes to you doing deals with other people, having that professional who has seen all this stuff over and over and over and can give you some guidance is going to be extremely important. Now, number 6, we're going to talk about business structure and business formalities. So, my whole thing is I need you to become a music business by learning how to think like a music business. We do this by basically learning how to become record labels, right? The hero for all of us, well, and the villain as well, is the record label. But the hero portion just being, well, if I can just sign with a record label, the label's going to get me the opportunities and the tours and the budget and the collaborations and all the things. All right. But if we can in ourselves become businesses, then we don't need the labels anymore and we become incredibly empowered. So by becoming that business structure, the first thing you have to do is actually become a business. And so you do that by registering a limited liability company. It is very inexpensive and it is extremely smart for many reasons, including to protect yourself legally. If you have an attorney, you have someone who can walk you through that, help you understand it, and to help you to actually get that set up. Number 5 on why you gotta get an entertainment attorney and to partner with them. Let's talk about contract disputes, okay? You have contracts, right? And we're gonna beat that into your head all day long that you need to paper your deals. You have to take yourself seriously. And if you kind of are too scared to have contracts, then you really are doing yourself a disservice. Now, having contracts is great because when problems come up, you have a contract you can point to say, well, you promised to do this didn't happen, so now X, Y, and Z is going to happen. Well, you still need to go and enforce it. So having that person along, right, that entertainment attorney who's got your back, they can actually go through, enforce it, but save you money in the same breath, right? So what I mean by this is, if you have someone who's kind of like not familiar with your project or what the deal was, then sometimes they'll be like, yeah, let's go sue them. Pay me a ton of money. We're going to sue them and we're going to be in court for 2 years. Versus if you have a strategic entertainment attorney by your side, when you have problems come up, they will come up. You can have that person do some creative lawyering and negotiation and tactful mentorship to get you through it, because it's just kind of part of the business. And it's like for all the rock stars who become celebrities and take over the planet, I mean, they're dealing with so much crap that happens as a result of that, right? And that comes with contract disputes and lawsuits. Number 4 of why you gotta work with an entertainment attorney. Let's talk about legal compliance and risk management. So you have to make sure that as you build, you make money. You have to abide by the law. And some people are, what's the book? It's Ready, Fire, Aim. Great business book. Not about music, but it's just a general business book. But that's that concept of you, if you're so lucky to have something kind of take off in the music business, music, or your project in some capacity, that's amazing. But you have to make sure that you're complying with rules, regulations, and staying legally protected along the way. And again, that is what the attorney is going to do for you. Now, number 3, when it comes to this person that's really going to save you a lot of money, well, money, aka royalties. One of the biggest disputes that people contact my office about is having to do with their royalties, right? They sign a record deal, the record label hasn't paid them, they haven't received their royalties, or they think that there's some funny business going on and they're not getting paid their fair share. So guess what happens when you email or send your record label a letter and you're like, hey, I haven't received a statement. Hey, I think you're underpaying me. 99% of the time, they will just ignore you. Okay? Or if they'll give you a courtesy response and sometimes they even talk down to you and say you don't know what you're talking about. And so as soon as you have an entertainment attorney that steps in, the tone changes. People start taking you very seriously as soon as they receive a letter on legal letterhead. And so having an attorney, again, just for that step of collecting your royalties, even you might need to audit a company, right? A music business such as a record label. Again, you want to have an entertainment attorney along to do all those things for you, and it will make your life easier and it will end up costing a lot less money. All right. Number 2, when it comes to partnering with a entertainment attorney to really make your career that much more successful, fluid, make it make sense. We're talking about intellectual property, copyright. So you need to register all your IP, right? So your intellectual property. Most commonly, it's going to be copyright for your music, your videos, but also trademark for your artist name, right? For your band name, your logo. And so these are things that become incredibly valuable. I do catalog sales all the time. And when we are selling music, even for like no-name artists who have a couple million streams every month, these artists are making hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars on these sales. And it's because they own the copyright and or the trademark. Or in some cases, it's the label that's selling the music. So the point just being making sure that you actually protect these things, really valuable for you down the road, but really important in the short term, right? If you have a song, you don't want someone to steal it, right? If they steal it, the only way for you to actually go to court is to make sure you have your copyright registration, and it's a whole thing. So I'm not going to bore you with the details. All you need to know is that you got to have all your IP registered, and you need an attorney to help you through that process so you don't mess it up. So number 1, and before I get there, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and share it with someone that you think might be able to benefit from it. So number 1, when it comes to working with an entertainment attorney, contract negotiation is always going to be at the top of the list for me, because this is how you're going to literally make money and get a better deal. Okay. So, when we are negotiating these contracts, it's not just the money and making sure that you kind of aren't getting screwed or the percentage that you're getting is not pathetic, right? We want to get you a good deal. But we also want to make sure that the deal is typically as short as possible. If you are the artist, if you are the producer, you're signing with a company, the company's objective is to get you to sign for as long as possible. And, they'll flash some money in front of you and they'll say, hey, I'm going to give you a $100,000 signing bonus. You're like, wow, that's amazing. And it's only a 2-year contract, but there are 5 options. And we can renew for each option 2 more years. So that is 5 times 2, so that's 10 years. On top of the 2 that you already said. So there are little things that you can miss that really end up putting you in a bad position because it ends up maybe not being a great deal. Maybe they don't push you as much as you like. Maybe you just got a better offer from someone else, but you can't take it because you already signed the contract. So for all these reasons, this is why you are going to get an entertainment attorney, and you're going to take the time to find the person that is a good fit for you. Don't just do a Google search and you find the first person and hire them and they suck and then you stick with them, or fire them and then never worked with an attorney again because you're like, I was burned. It really is a process. It's like going to the doctor. It's like going to any service provider. You're not necessarily going to find the right person right away, but when you do, that person is going to save you a ton of time and money and headaches. Thank you very much for watching. All right, going back to the chat. Hello. I hope you guys found that helpful. Like I was saying, I had to hire my first attorney when I was actually in law school. And it was because I was signed with it was a label slash management deal. And they were fine, sort of, except they kind of did a horrible job and they were taking profit participation from stuff that I was getting, and they weren't really like doing that much because they didn't know what they were doing. So eventually I just got so fed up that I needed to terminate the agreement. So I actually hired an entertainment attorney to do that for me because, again, the letterhead is key. In fact, here, for my editor who's watching this right now, let's see if we can cut this in. And final note, the letterhead is key. There we go. I don't know if that's going to cut, but there we go, because I forgot it. Yeah, so if you're checking in right now, where are you checking in from? See, Ashley's always got me. She knows I'm going to forget. Where are you checking in from, and what time is it? Yeah. All right, so without further ado, let's bring in that Orko. We have some things going on in entertainment news that we are going to chat about. Oh, I actually don't see that he... Never mind. We're just going to wait a second. All right, but I'll tease it. We got Travis Scott. All right, do you guys remember? For like a hot minute, he was all anyone could talk about because there were people who died at his festival. And then, of course, there were lawsuits in the hundreds of millions and beyond in damages that they were seeking. And so this was, obviously a huge case. But one of the biggest questions was Travis Scott going to be held personally liable? Because he kind of started hiding behind his team. Even though it's his festival, he's the owner in the company. He's like, I don't know, I'm just the artist. I have all these guys that come in, they do all the stuff. They're the ones that are at fault, not me. So there was a lot of conversation about just generally, from a liability standpoint, the legal standpoint, the ethical, moral standpoint. So we have an update for you today. But first, let's just kind of go in the chitty chat. The Joeys, what a fun name. I like that. The Joeys said, we've been approached by a company for sync licensing. They are asking for 5 years exclusive. Is that normal? So if they're offering an exclusive license, and if it's a sync company, again, for those who don't know, synchronization is synchronizing your audio to visual. So it can be TV, film, games, that kind of thing. So if you have an offer for a 5-year term, my question would be, what are they giving you in exchange, right? So if someone is asking for exclusivity, meaning you won't be able to take your music anywhere else, and typically they'll want the new music that comes out as well during that period, then if it's a 5-year term, which is pretty long, but it's advantageous for these companies to get as much time as possible, right? So they're going to try to do a long term. So it's up to you to push back, and you need to try to get less, okay? But more than likely, you're still, you'll say 3, you guys will land at 4. So then I would say, are you getting any kind of signing bonus, right? So are they paying for the right to exclusively represent your music? And they might not be. So then the next question becomes, well, tell me about this company. So if it's a company that, does really well, they have a lot of placements in your type of genre, they represent artists that are similar to you, these are all things that at least put us on the right path, that maybe they will be a good fit and they might be able to get you placements. Because, a company that does this really well, I have a guy who's making hundreds of thousands of dollars from what he does with sync licensing. So, for a musician, that's one revenue stream. So it can be extremely profitable. But you have to just remember, though, if you're like, hey, it's a 5-year deal and they're going to take exclusive rights, just know you probably can't get out of that contract. So you just have to be really smart going into it. What are you giving up? What are they giving you? What are they promising? And what's the likelihood that they can actually do something for you? Hey, what's up? Thanks for checking in. Let me go back. I think I missed something. Brady asks, what's the best way to find a good lawyer? Can they be out of state? Great question, Brady. So, when when it comes to finding a good service provider, obviously, scouring the internet, I go so far as to Google and then YouTube and then look at reviews. I'm very much, I love Google Maps. I love looking at people's reviews of those attorneys and those firms. So that's a good place to start just to kind of get a sense of maybe who is in your area. Most people try to find someone who is local, but that's so not necessary. So, for example, my office represents clients all over the United States because we're doing transactional work, we're doing federal work, and half of the time the client doesn't need to come to the office, right? They don't need to have those in-person meetings because we're trying to move quickly and the client gets billed for all the time. So we want to be fast, we want to send them videos and explain things and give them what they need. But anyway, to the second piece of your question of can they be out of state? Yes. The restriction on lawyers' licenses has to do with them practicing in court. So, for example, if I am not licensed in Florida, I can't go to Florida and, file a lawsuit. I can only file in a court where I actually am licensed. But for transactional work, like contract drafting, review, negotiation, federal stuff like copyrights and trademarks, I'm good to go. So, anyway, the point just being, make sure you get someone. All right, so that Orko, I think we're going to bring him in. I'm going to answer one more question. You got it. Thanks, Brady. Brady, or Kevin, asks what information goes inside a contract when a platform like Spotify offers an artist an exclusive album deal? It depends. I mean, typically a Spotify, it's not going to be specifically with the artist, right? So record labels have the deals with the DSPs, the digital service providers. And but let me just tell you generally, if you have an exclusive deal, and let's say it's for like a Spotify album or it's a podcast, then they are tying you up and they're typically going to, prevent you from going elsewhere. They're going to make the term really long. But if it's a partner like Spotify, they have some money to spend. So they're typically going to pay you pretty well upfront in order to obtain those rights. Okay, that Orko, we're going to bring you in. Hey, how's
Hey,
it going?
good. Shout out to the community. Thank you guys so much for being here. As you know, we do broadcast across many different platforms, but make sure that you come over to YouTube. This is where we want you to be. We've been releasing some incredible content on the channels lately. If you haven't stopped by lately, we have this great interview with James Rhodes of Fixed Music. Fantastic record label, just really giving you the ins and outs of how his label has just grown to just incredible numbers from doing niche types of music. So very cool. But I'm very stoked to be here. The music video premiere went great. The video looks great. Song sounds great. Love it. Oh,
I have not. I have not. There are important things. Oh, was I muted?
you were, but I fixed it.
Thank you. All right. Anyway, let's just move on. So I was kind of teasing. We have been talking, and in fact, let's just go into the segment. Okay, I need to pull this up. We're going to talk about some news stuff. Okay.
Let's go.
For a hot minute, Travis Scott was what anyone could talk about: the festival, the tragedy, the loss of lives. And then things finally started calming down. And the big question had been, would Travis Scott be found personally liable for encouraging what happened with the audience, even though what seemed to be he could clearly see what was happening in the, with the fans. So there was a lot of debate about this, and we now have the answer. Okay, so Travis Scott and the organizers of Astroworld Festival will not face criminal charges. Okay, so this was following the crowd rush that tragically had claimed 10 people, and this was 19 months ago. Wow, so much time has gone by. So, and this was determined by a grand jury in Houston. Are you
Yeah,
surprised by this?
I think a lot of people are surprised by this, to the extent of not that nothing was gonna, that he was gonna go to jail necessarily, but that there just wouldn't be charges kind of filed for like some kind of, I don't want to say like inciting a riot because that's not necessarily what happened, but I don't know. Those videos were pretty compelling as far as just knowing what was going on, seeing what was going on, just continuing, and then rather than de-escalating a situation, hyping it up. Get the ground shaken after they could even get the medical people, um, the medical cars even in there to rescue some of the people.
Attendees, they were reporting being crushed. They were reporting that they couldn't breathe. They were being trampled. And, even though Scott had briefly paused the show, he resumed it after an hour. And so there just seemed to be
Yeah.
this incredible disconnect. And so now we do have an update. So this was from Travis Scott's attorney, Kent Schaffer. He made a statement. So he was asserting, of course, his client's innocence, stating, "My client, Travis Scott, will not be charged with criminal charges for any wrongdoing for his involvement with Astroworld Festival." And then he referred to investigative reports by various media outlets, again, just kind of proclaiming Travis's innocence. Now, obviously, Travis has been, back in the entertainment scene, and he slowly started kind of performing and being seen at
Yeah.
celebrity events, and it was just it all just felt awkward at
For
best,
sure.
and just
For
to be
sure.
like, it almost seemed cold and callous because it felt fast
Well,
to the event, and it wasn't, but
and then he also did, what was it, that Charlemagne interview,
and he did, yes,
where
we
he was
covered that.
talking, and that was just, it just absolutely just taking no kind of responsibility for kind of anything, and not that he, if he, it's tough. It's really tough because, you know, just some of the way that's been handled, it just feels insensitive at times. Even his lawyer emphasized that he's been inaccurately and wrongly singled out, despite stopping the show, and he was unaware of anything unfolding. Just try to make it make excuses. Like he's shocking that he when you see the footage, that I mean we've covered it like crazy. When you see the footage, when you see how the event was organized, this was his event, and it just the, there's nothing shocking about him being trying to be kind of held accountable. Now I understand he still has a lot of civil cases that are still going to. So I mean the civil cases can still
Yeah, and let's clarify, guys. So we're talking about there are no
criminal.
criminal charges against Travis Scott or the other organizers, but they're still facing billions of dollars in claims from
Yeah.
civil. So these are private actions from the people who either were hurt or of the families of lives of those who were lost.
And I'm not gunning for Travis Scott by any stretch. I'm just saying I'm shocked that they weren't brought against him, but then I wouldn't be surprised if he was found not guilty. But I'm just surprised that they're just like, "Oh no, like this is just not even going to try it." So, that's all. There's
Yeah,
just
so his
10 families were affected from this.
And, we had covered initially, Scott's counsel had filed motions to dismiss the lawsuits. And there was just kind of the sentiment, echoed by Live Nation, basically just we weren't responsible. But the legal proceedings are ongoing. And,
You
this
could
has,
see I would just say we just going from concerts now, just from festivals, since the tragedy has happened, festivals are being run differently. And I think that it is very, um, I guess that's the something good that's come out of it is these other festival companies are just really kind of going above and beyond to make sure that people are kind of safe, that they're getting plenty of water stations, that they're not trapping people in by the layout of the the barricades, that they're threatening to stop. We were at that Sick New World Festival, and they all the headliners and people are getting a little too pushy, and they made sure the artists made them stop and back up, or they were going to stop the show. There's
yeah,
like a zero tolerance for stuff that I've
yeah.
seen.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Following this tragedy, there's definitely another look that's happening at, festival safety and concert safety, and people are really taking it seriously. So while we do have a determination in regards to the criminal charges, we still have yet to see the outcome of the billions of dollars in the civil lawsuits. We will keep you posted on this story. My editor, you can cut out the pause. So let's see if we can make that more casual.
Yeah, let's clean that all up.
Hey,
Hey.
hey. All right, my throat. So I was doing sing-alongs yesterday
Yeah,
for the promotion of the music video, and I'm just telling you right now, I feel like it's going. So we gotta spray it up.
spray it up.
Yeah. So I have this Singer's Professional Strength spray. I'm not sponsored. I just use their stuff a lot.
Oh, I liked how you
Um,
have we got your autofocus on your cam. So when you did that, it was a
that's
nice little
right.
product zoom.
Right? Here, let's mute myself.
Make sure you hit like on the stream if you haven't already. And just to remind you guys, I'll take this opportunity because I love to plug it. We have our TMA episodes also on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, at Amazon
Yeah.
Music, Podbean. So you can listen to these episodes in little segments that are broken up nice that you can just drive around your car and get the info. Let's talk about it.
All right, so I want to talk about the music business. Okay, so we're gonna have a little discussion right now. You ready?
Let's go.
All right, I'm gonna have the gavel ready because I really want to gavel
Hold
it up
on.
on this one.
Yeah, hold on. Actually, I thought it was more ready
I'm
than
gonna
that.
gavel all you guys on Instagram. I feel bad for Instagram. I go live on Instagram and they can't hear the other side of the conversation. They just see my face and I'm like, what the F is happening? But
Well,
what's not happening is the question I have.
there's ways that we can make that kind of happen, and maybe we'll experiment to broadcast a little more to that. But
Kevin asks, would you suggest art to do when they're involved in some sort of controversy? Wait.
artists to do, what would you suggest artists to do when they're
Oh,
involved in some
I
sort
see,
of
I see.
controversy?
Yeah, if they're involved in controversy, sometimes it's time to hide out, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just need to let it blow over, but there are times it's worth consulting with a PR company if you're dealing with some really negative stuff. And
It depends what it is. I think it depends
other
what it is.
times there are artists and, public celebrities, we'll just call them, that embrace it, go with it, right? Fight it. Like that's the whole thing where you want to be controversial. So the whole, getting more awareness. So it kind of just depends on the situation.
I think it depends on the situation and the kind of artist that you want to be and how you want your life to be. So think about the biggest artists in the world right now. Like think about all the different controversies and stuff that they've been dragged through, and just what comes with fame and what comes with the judgment of fame and being dissected. So it's kind of like you got to kind of make the choice if you want to lay low, or if you want to just keep it going and make that a part of just your legacy
Oh.
and who you are. So it's just kind of like determine what's best for your mental health, and what trade-off is kind of worth it to you, because the stuff it's going to live forever.
All right. Is the music business rigged? As someone who has been in the music business since I was 4 years old and I've been an independent artist, I have run a record label, different music businesses, and now being a attorney of over 9 years, well, I'm gonna give you the answer in this video. So brace yourself, the truth hurts. But fear not, because I am here to help you through this journey. There's the reality of the situation that you just need to kind of be aware of, but then there's how do you do this and how do you learn the rules of the game so you can use them to your advantage so you can still be successful. Okay? So let's jump right in. So the 5 tips that I want to go through as far as understanding the music business and making sure that you're going to be successful. I want to start with number 1. It's about the importance of your strategic alliances and, aka just having unbreakable relationships and alliances. Okay, so the whole, if I get a record label, if I get a manager, if I get just someone to help me out, then I could be the next biggest thing. You're holding yourself back with that mentality because you're waiting for someone else to make your dreams a reality. No one's ever going to care about your music career more than you. So I need you to stop thinking like that. What you do need are strategic partners who believe in what you're doing, believe in your music, regardless of where you're at the bottom just starting or you have had success already. Nonetheless, it's those relationships that are going to help you to kind of prolifically accelerate in your career. So let's talk about that just for a second. What do you think as far as just general networking, generally making friends and your reputation in the industry?
Listen, there's a lot of things about that. So I think it's important to, especially if you're in some kind of genre, to make friends within your genre, whether that's other artists, whether that's producers, whether it's getting to know mixers and, you know what I mean, and mastering engineers. I mean, those people are great to know just so you can, bounce ideas off of. Those are people are separate from your actual real life friends, we'll call them, as far as your networking friends and those kind of people. Not that they don't cross over, but I'm just saying, like, it's important to have like-minded people around you that are doing the same kind of things, even just linking up with people that make content that are just like super goal oriented. If you have friends that are like filmmakers and just that kind of stuff, like it helps you along just with either, getting homie hookups on visuals that you need, or just ideas that you can bounce off. It's always important that maybe they needed music for something at some point. It's just very important. The other one I will tell you is club owners, bar owners, and like people that are like in that kind of realm, promoters, um, bartenders are really great to know. Like, these people are very important to have in your network, I would say, because they are people that are on the ground floor that talk about, oh, I know this guy, he's great, he's he's a hip hop artist, he's incredible for this thing, or getting booked. So I would say that those are the most important people you should have in your circle.
Yeah, make friends and be nice to people because you
Yeah.
never know who's going to be able to help you out, who's about to be that label exec in like 3 years. And so I have a Facebook group that I started for top music attorneys students, but really it's open to anyone who just wants to learn from our school and just to watch our free videos.
Mhm.
And so if you want to be a part of that, just go to Top Music Attorney on Facebook and you can be in the community. So you're making friends with the people who are doing the thing that you are literally doing and that can help you. All right. So number two, the next tip that I would give you when it comes to, conquering the music business, you have to dare to be different, right? So we look at artists like Billie Eilish, Tyler the Creator, Bjork, and so these artists who have found significant success by just being themselves. And it doesn't mean you need to be weird or different if that's just not what you do, but it's okay to be unique, right? And we want this because we don't want to just manufacture replicas of the same thing. No one wants another exact Taylor Swift. No one wants
Right.
another exact because it's already been done. So stop trying to be that thing that you aren't.
It's okay to take, inspiration from other artists and stuff, especially when you're starting off, when you're trying to develop a sound, or, you see yourself as a level. So you're hearing, hit songs and you're trying to, like, oh, I need something like this. Remember when those songs came, by the time they finally hit your ears, they've already been in development probably for like 6 months. So they're already kind of old. By the time your song breaks, and, if you're trying to do the exact same thing, you're probably already at the end of a trend. But nonetheless, it's okay to take those sounds and those things that you like, but make it your own. Be unique. Flip it somehow. You have to do something that makes you stand out. Everybody that you like that is popular, they stand out. So
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah. All right. So then number three, let's talk about guerrilla marketing tactics because we're going to hit music marketing to death. I need you to market. I need you to figure it out. And I still haven't come up with the exact phrase for this, but I need you to like unleash your brain because it's you holding yourself back. You're not posting as much as you need to be. You're not making the content because you keep talking yourself out of it. You keep having fear issues. You keep
Yeah.
having doubt issues. That's okay. You got to keep working on overcoming that. But don't just rely on digital platforms, right? Can we do some pop up impromptu performances or concerts? Can we come up with really captivating music videos? I keep referencing this guy who did his music video with fans all around him, like
Yeah.
literally. Oh, I was gonna, my fan's not disconnecting. Anyway, literally the blowing air devices, and it was just very unique because his song is "I Am Your Fan." Just something that is very, again, different, unique. Just do
Oh,
what you
Chiso
need to
touchdown.
do. Yeah, yeah. So unleash your guerrilla marketing tactics, right?
Yeah, and that's also where, where we are talking about before about networking and partnering, like going around to like local businesses and, finding kind of partnerships that you can have with them when you're filming content there, so your content's more interesting that you're doing, so it's not just anywhere. Like, maybe you can find a local cafe if you're setting up with your guitar and you're going to sing something to make some content, to do like an on the spot kind of performance thing. You're setting it up. Work something out with like a local coffee shop. They get a little plug, you get a little, viral content. So it's all about relationships as well.
All right, number 4, I need you to embrace the fact that you are independent. Okay, this is a
Mm,
good thing because right now, where it comes to like signed artists, they're like this tiny little piece of the music industry. And then we have this massive, massive portion of the music industry, the far majority, which are independent artists. And the great thing about this is that that means there is a collective, there is a voice, and you need to find all those little places of where you can get your music out there, right? So we have independent blogs, we have independent playlists that people have curated for your type of independent music, right? Rock, pop, whatever.
right.
And so it's about championing the fact that that's what you're doing, but finding the other people who are tastemakers who are also into championing independent artists.
And again, that comes again with just networking. Again, we're going to keep going back to it. You know, even just going around to like, you know, the local clubs, getting to know DJs around local clubs if you're trying to get your music spun, going to, you know, bars and stuff where they control their music, and you know, getting your stuff in there and getting to know these people so they champion you around town. People hang out. Like it's amazing if you can have little kind of, you know, foot soldiers out there kind of just, you know, singing your praise everywhere around town who they're going to come up with, especially in those environments. There's a lot of, you know, music industry people and people that are looking for things that are always at those places.
All right, and 5, master your craft. Okay, so I work one-on-one with different musicians and music business owners, and I'm helping them to develop their careers. And so one thing we were talking about today is actually showing what you do as
Yeah.
a songwriter, singer, guitar player. So a lot of what we forget to do is we're so focused on promoting and trying to figure out all the business stuff that we forget to actually just feature ourselves as artists, right? And so if you can invest in your skill, you can show yourself working on the skill, but then also just show the skill, right?
Right.
Show yourself playing that guitar,
Yeah.
show yourself singing, do some things. And so, master your craft. That's really what I'm talking about. So never give up on that piece or forget that you have to put time into that.
And it's just more about just showing who you are. It's more about showing your day, what you go through as an artist, the relatability. Um, Maybe you're playing a guitar in front of like, you know, an Alice in Chains poster and stuff, and you're gonna resonate with people that are fans of Alice in Chains, or just, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things. The important thing is to always have your phone ready with, you know, cleared off space and ready to go for when you're trying to capture all those moments as you do it, which could be tough. But remember, you can always just take the stuff, and if you're filming your day, just film it as like b-roll, so you're just walking around filming yourself, you're just filming your guitar, you don't actually have to show the audio from it, and then you do a voiceover for it as well.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah, no,
things like that.
I'm doing one of those right now because I'm leaving the life of coffee again for like the 4th time. And so as I basically go through this month, I have it on my TikTok. So I'm just recording like 5 seconds every
Yeah.
few days as an update. Hey, this is what happened. So you can do stuff progressively. For me, the first time I was like, hey, I'm gonna document my day. I literally did a bunch of clips. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna come back later and I'm gonna get my InShot
Yeah.
application and I'll cut all the clips together. It was such a pain in the butt. I didn't do it. So then the next time I did it, I was like, I'm going to use TikTok because then you can just record the clips as you go. That works better for me. So find
Right.
what works for you, but obviously document, 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 work on your craft. Okay? So
And that stuff
understand.
performs really well for you, right? Like
Sure.
you know, your day, it's really interesting because think about it, because you're giving people really quick snippets, a
Yeah.
lot of different stuff in quick little bites of a
Right.
little insight of your life. So don't be afraid of
Right.
that.
Fear not, little dumplings. We got you covered. All right, so understand there's going to be setbacks. You have to work on your resiliency, and that's a task in itself to just always get back up, keep trying new content, keep trying and learning your skills. And, of course, I understand you guys need help. So that's why, I do what I do and I work with you one on one. And if you do need help, you can just message me on Instagram at Top Music Attorney. Let me know what you're doing. And then, I'll see if maybe you're a good fit for more of that one-on-one stuff. But either way, take these free videos, learn what you can, and apply this every single day to your music business and music career journey. Look at that. I remember the gavel and everything.
Nice, nice. And we dropped a link to the Instagram in the chat, so make sure that you click those links and stuff, and take a look if you want some extra help with your music career.
So I had a question from Ramon. He's asking, with your success, what was your biggest struggle? I don't. I, that's an interesting question. The biggest struggle I think was a lot of my perceptions on that I wasn't successful. Right? Who says I'm successful now? Who said I wasn't successful then? And just the perception that I wasn't good enough, that I had not accomplished enough, that by the time I was 18, I already had this feeling like I was too old. My music career opportunity was
Right.
over. And I had this real thought and feeling since I was 18 years old. And then as time went on and you get to your 20s, oh my goodness, what's the point now? And so by doing that, you are really, really handicapping
Mm,
yourself because that's not helpful, right? A, it's not true, right? And it's just some insignificant, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's an insignificant way to determine your value, right? But
mm,
at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. So if you are always in a negative mindset in regards to your life, your relationship, your career, anything, those are the thoughts that run around in your brain all day long. Because guess what? 99% of the thoughts that we think are the same every single day. So if you are thinking negative thoughts, you are not being a champion for yourself. You are not being a cheerleader for yourself. So all you're doing is talking yourself from actually you're talking yourself down from taking the action that you need to take so you can get to that next level. So anyway, answering that question in a long-winded way.
No,
Uh,
I think that's totally I think it's totally great. And just remembering, I think their first step is just remembering that, Taylor Swift isn't your competition. You are your competition. You're probably not going to be Taylor Swift. So if you're beating yourself up because you're not as huge as that, you're just setting yourself up for failure. You should just always be trying to be consistently growing and getting better. But it's okay to fail, to learn from that so you can just accelerate even further. I think too many artists, and especially as we get older, we give up, and it's okay. Yeah, so like I'm older now, so now yeah, I probably can't be like an in sync, or I can't be the next Justin Bieber. I'm not going to be able to be that 17-year-old kid that's
okay,
tearing
but
up the
but
charts.
so what? Are you
That's what
wanting to
that's no,
be?
that's my point. It's like you
Right.
just kind of pivot what your goals are and what you want to do to make it work for you. It's like if you won the lottery at 60, what, you don't want that money at 60? You're just going to say, "Oh, never mind then." Like your life
The
is now.
lie, the lie of success is that once you achieve all of your hopes and dreams and desires that you will be happy, and you won't. You'll become a big
Yeah.
star, you'll have the millions of plays, and you will still feel miserable. And so the way that you address that is that you figure out how to right now in your body, in the state of your environment, the state of your life, that you're going to be happy. And that can be from a mind shift
Yeah.
of gratitude and just being like,
Mm.
I'm so grateful that I was able to work on what I need to work on today, that I can learn from my prior mistakes. And if you really mean that and you become this energy, all of a sudden, a lot of great things start happening because I really feel that you end up putting out vibrations and it pulls in what you need. And if you're just putting out negativity, it's just going to push people away.
And you get that, if the added bonus is physically you feel kind of better, you feel a little less tense from it. It took me a long time to um push out of my own ego, get out of my own way, and being so afraid of succeeding, quite frankly. Like what that would mean, what responsibilities. And then if I have something doing well, now I have to live up to that. And it's just, everything has to be just right. And it's crippling once you just know that your competition is your kind of yourself, and all that means is you just want to just keep getting better and you keep learning. And as long as I'm doing that and I'm paying it forward and I'm trying to help other people get their stuff, I just want to see everybody winning. Like that's it. Like I love it.
Yeah. So, and just for those of you who want to deep dive a little bit on this, there's a book called Feeling Good by David D. Burns. It's on Audible. He also has another book called Feeling Great. But I would just say, as far as if this is something that you struggle with, really go through that. It changed my life
Yeah.
because he talks about these cognitive distortions that we have because a lot of us don't even know that we're doing it. And so if you learn what's happening and you learn how to apply these tools, you can rewire your brain. Because think about it, if you woke up, you're like, this is a great day. I'm so excited. I can accomplish anything. And you felt like a superhero. Well, that's the life that you would lead. And so he teaches you how to do that. So you should definitely
Yeah,
check it out.
absolutely. I love it when you kind of talk about this stuff because this is something that I don't think that is addressed a lot and on different, just different topics that I see on YouTube. Like a lot of people like to deep dive into what is kind of probably a lot of artists and producers' biggest problems is the fact that they are just kind of getting in their own way by these things that they tell themselves, which prevents them from taking that next step of just, taking vocal lessons or signing up for a music business course, or, it's just because we're afraid of what that's going to mean and the extra additive instead of just going through it, or afraid of putting out new content because we're afraid of what one of our best friends is going to say when they see it. They're not your audience. Who cares what your friends and family think? Like it's for your
But
business.
But
You got
the
to get
but
over
the
it.
I think the key to all these techniques is that you have to come up with ways to talk back to yourself
Yeah.
in a way that you're not lying. Because if you lie to yourself and you're like, you know what? I don't care what my mom says. I don't care what my sister says or my best friend. They're like, F them. Krystle said to F them, whatever. If you don't believe that, you're lying to yourself and your brain knows you're lying. So you're not actually going to change anything. So what they talk about with some of these cognitive techniques is that you rewire your brain because you change what the story is, right? So
Yeah.
they talk about like rose colored glasses and how you can see the world in different ways. Well, what is that? And at least from this standpoint, we take it from a psychology and neuroscience standpoint. So it's super interesting, and it's definitely something I've gotten into, and it's really changed my life because back to the original question of what's something that I struggled with, and it was that I didn't even know what was
Yeah.
happening. I was just like, go go go. I just need to go. I need to deliver. I need to follow through. But I didn't know that I could be so much happier and to feel like a rock star, to like really
Mm.
feel like a rock star within myself. And so, if I can do it, you can do it.
It's your training. It's what you're training yourself over so many years. And so that's why it's an ongoing process to continue applying the techniques and stuff, because you have to retrain yourself over new time just to, get out of your own way,
That's
which
right.
is essentially what it is. Love this. Love this. Great.
That's right. You guys are awesome. I'm so proud of you for continuing to just learn and to train yourselves and to just work on ways that you can just find better happiness because life is short. And if you're not kind of living your best life right now and there's something that you need to correct, I mean, there's different ways to go at it from health to dealing with your mental issues and we all have them. We just don't talk about it, right? So you're not alone. And that's why, I wanted to share this with you guys. Okie dokie. So in any case, love your faces. We're that Orca. I'm gonna kick you out of here so I can do our wrap up.
And
And
play that video game for that or video game for that dream is a wish your heart makes. That stuff's on hit.
yes, and we'll watch the music video one more time. So let me do the wrap up. Thank you, that Orco. Rodney had asked, what about storing clips for future reference? Yeah, so when it comes to content, recycle, recycle, recycle. If something does well, it's like a hit song. People want to hear it again. People want to see it again. So if you have content that performs well, repost it, okay? But then also you can just save clips for future reference, to your point. So in any case, we're going to watch the music video where I transform into Cinderella, because who doesn't love that? I'll be in the chat with you guys, but in the meantime, I'm probably, after this live stream, I'm probably gonna jump onto my Miss Krystle Instagram and do a live stream there. So if you do follow me on that platform, you are welcome to come over and say hi. It's a totally different thing. I like sing songs and I just am an artist. So, for those of you who are like, have different sides of your personality, I feel you, right? You can be a professional and then literally 10 minutes later be more of a creative, because that's just what I do. But anyway, for your ongoing learning, we have the podcast. Listen on Spotify, listen on all the places, and we just do the teaching stuff because I know on the show we talk about, news stories and things like that, but this is really so that you can just, like, when you're driving, you get it in a quick 10 minutes and you just increase your learning. And then, of course, for those of you who are interested in working directly with me on a one-on-one basis, just tell me a little bit about what you're doing. I'll see if you're a good fit for what I'm up to. And you can DM me on Top Music Attorney on Instagram. Okie dokie. All right. So with that being said, I love your faces. Make sure you check out the music video and we're going to watch it, okay? You and me. We're going to watch this music video. And if you want to do me a solid, you can go to Miss Krystle YouTube and leave a little comment. Leave your feedback. Let me know what you think. Okay? Yeah. Hit it.